It's got to be a Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason engine masters don't allow the Cleveland anymore. There's a reason they wanted all LS in there. None of the engine builders wanted to go LS because the Cleveland will kick its ass.
I love it.
And now, as far as Ford, the Coyote, when Kaase bring the Coyote out and just embarrassed everybody, I heard how many points he has. I just stuck my EM engine in the corner and said, I ain't going. I'm not going to embarrass myself.
Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it. You know, all this money that we make on the live chat's going right back to BS, to go into that DragBoss 427 we're building, all those heads you're going to be working on. So, yeah, guys, I appreciate that. Now, let's see what this says. It's kind of interesting, so appreciate it, Robert. If builders don't start using stuff, they will be left behind. Not only is print dead, it's sad, so is television. Yeah.
Think of what this medium has allowed us to do. Exchange ideas on such a massive level. It's absolutely
like that.
Awesome. I mean, I always tell people I got maybe 15 years left. I mean, I'm not going to be
Hey, that's my line.
So if I don't pass on what I know, what's going to happen? I'm going to die with it? Well, that's stupid.
I mean, that's what I'm doing. I have 14 good years left, and John Wilbur will laugh about it and give me how many days that is. But I'm getting rid of all the parts I've collected for my life, building my 5 motors, my engines, and be done with all this stuff. I want to bring my kids into it, teach them how to do this stuff, let them do stuff they've already been working on here with me. But they're really not into the garage stuff yet. I mean, they're girls, and hopefully they get into it once we see something happen.
I wasn't serious about it until I was 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully.
I was too busy drinking and chasing girls.
5 minutes to go. Yeah, see, I know my wife is already. Thank you. Appreciate that, Rev Tech. And he's a Mopar man. That's what I'm doing. We're not just talking about Fords and Clevelands. We're branching out. I'm going to AMC, Chevy. I mean, we're going to Mopar. I'm bringing it all back in.
I'm one of them guys that I don't care what make or brand it is. If it's got pistons and a crank and the shit goes up and down and it revs high, I'm all for it.
Me too.
I'm working on a LeBrun 4-cylinder for right now for vintage road racing. I had this so old, I had to weld all the ports in this thing, both sides, all the way out. I mean, the ports are all welded. Everything's in the water jacket.
Just going through the messages to make sure we don't miss anything, because we got to sign off in about 2 minutes, because it's going to be, hey, wow.
Shit.
Here's this. Thank you, Gurney Eagle. $50 for the Ford Fund. You're right. It's going in there. I keep track of it all.
Now, see, I've seen the Gurney. I've seen the engine. I mean, at the Indianapolis Motor Museum and a place. I've never seen that. I would love to. I mean, I absolutely love doing that. I mean, I could spend all day at Wright-Patterson at the Air and Space Museum. I'd spend days there. Indy Museum, I could spend a day, 2 there.
I know that people have a few sets. Actually, Jay Cushman bought. Yeah, I'll just talk. But Jay Cushman bought all of Gurney Eagle's, Dan Gurney's stuff when he sold out. And he had a couple of complete motors and a bunch of parts. I'll tell you, those heads will flow, and they make a lot of RPM. The question is where you're going to get the parts and all that. But if you got them, put them on there. So You're definitely right, Anthony. Must say, you can't ask magazines questions. This smokes. It does. This is a killer show. Go ahead, Darin.
This is one of my prized possessions.
Man, that's a thick ring. Yeah. Is that cast?
Yeah, that's cast.
Jesus.
And this ring was cut on a wood lathe converted to cut metal. You can actually see the lines cutting this thing. It's got machine lines in it. And I don't even want to compress it. It's so fragile and old. This ring is out of the #2 Wright Brothers aircraft engine.
Wow.
When the Discovery Channel back in early 2000s wanted to rebuild the Wright Brothers airplane, there was no blueprints, no plans. So they let them take it down and take measurements at the Smithsonian. And the Smithsonian told them that they built 2 engines. They didn't have just one, they built 2. They blew the first one up.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
They blew 2 cylinders out of it. And they had it in the basement of the Smithsonian. And they let them, with a team of engineers, take the engine down and generate blueprints and rebuild it back to factory spec. And the 2 blown cylinders, they didn't want to reuse these rings. They made the pistons, everything exactly the way the Wright brothers did it.
Wow.
So I was helping them on the engine, and they gave me this ring with the provenance to prove where it came from. And that is a ring out of the original Wright Brothers airplane.
I mean, that's a huge, I mean, it makes me emotional. I don't know why, but to see that, you know.
I have this thing up in a steel canister.
I mean, think of the balls those guys had, you know.
I was going to frame it with the provenance.
You should. Victor, thank you. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the money you guys are contributing. Like I said, it's going right back to BS. You know, I always tell people always want instant results. You know, when they watch my channel or I'm building something, nothing happens fast with me. I mean, I do the best I can to keep things progressing, but nothing's going to happen like on these commercial programs where you got 20 guys in the background doing stuff and it gets all done and you come back and it's, hey, look what we did. So it doesn't work that way. I'll get things when I can get
advertisements that last an hour?
What's that?
You mean paid advertisements that last an hour?
Yeah. You know what, John? I think the same thing. This is one of the best live chats I've seen with the interaction and the information going back and forth. So, yeah, thank you. You're welcome, Cat's Garage. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You know, and I think Rusty Glidden was tuning in. He said he was going to be here. Thanks, Raging Bull, for the money.
I never got to tell Rusty's skydiving story, so I got to.
You know what? You got to tell that because it's too good.
That's too good to waste.
Yeah, I got to give another quick shout out. Thanks, Bill Wolf. We're going to leave this. We'll come back to that one after this story.
In my younger days, I was 8 up with skydiving. I've got 1,165 skydives. And for 10 years, when I worked at Bob's, they had a drop zone right like 2 miles down from the shop. So I was there every night. I'd make 2 or 3 jumps at night. And on the weekends, I'd make 10 jumps on a weekend. Well, Rusty said, well, I want to do that. So I was a licensed trainer at the time. So I said, well, come on out. I'll put you through the training. I said, well, I'll throw you out static line, which is you just go out, pop the chute immediately. He did everything great. He says, and then he saw me make a skydive from 10,000. He said, I want to do that. I said, great. I said, we'll put you in training. I said, well, I'll have you. I said, we don't have accelerated free fall. In other words, I can't throw you out and teach you how to fly on the way down, which is the way I learned. But I was the first person in Kansas to ever graduate what they call accelerated free fall, which is basically where they throw you out and teach you on the way down.
Wow.
But you have 2 guys. So if you get out of control, they can come in and stabilize you. But if you get into a flat spin, you're dead. So unless you have the training to know how to get out of that, which is not hard, it's just you have to have that training. So he says, no, I want to do it now. And I said, you can't do that. You'll die. And he goes, no, I can do it. I can do it. And knowing Rusty, who knows no fear at all, he was dead serious. So the owner of the drop zone comes up to me and says, throw his ass out. And I said, okay, fine. So I spent 2 hours of training, body position. I said, okay, you're not going to get into a flat spin. This is how you get out of a flat spin. You know, push against the wall, train him. We went up. He jumped out. I flew into him, and he wore a grin all the way down. Loved it. Not scared in the least. Now, I haven't told that story for decades because the pilot could lose his license, the drop zone could be shut down. I mean, that was holy. If it wasn't an outlaw drop zone, I would have never gotten away with doing that crap. But I just thought it was funny because he smiled all the way down.
Thanks, Rusty. We appreciate it. And my family's they're understanding, and I appreciate Darin taking time from his family. We'll answer this question, then we're going to kind of cut it down and taper it off.
Okay, let's do some math. The SR-71 moves 460 easy. So
oh, yeah.
On a 598 cubic inch Ford, let me get my spreadsheets.
I'll just guess just with my own head. Let's see.
Yeah, I carry my spreadsheets with me everywhere. Okay.
I'm going to be safe. I'm going to say 1,250.
75 cubic inches is per cylinder at 460.
My wife says plenty of time for drag racing talk.
So a 598 with those heads. I mean, you're looking at about 7,000 RPM is what the valve is, and the airflow itself is good for. So making power over 7,000 is going to be a little difficult without a big core cam with fast ramp rates and everything. But okay, so at 7,000 you have a 598 and 460. So 60.
Well, he's doing that. Thanks, DragCat, for watching.
598. So we have 598 cubic inches times, let's say 7,100. It'll do that. 7,100 RPM.
Thanks, DragCat.
Times 0.000988754 divided by 8. The engine's asking for 525 CFM by 7,000. So you're only flowing 480. So you are undervalved at that point. That's the point where the engine is not going to want to make any more power. So with 480 at that RPM, you can make 1,050 to 1,070 pretty easily. You should be able to do that.
So
I mean, 1,100 that's not out of line at all.
I said 1,250. What'd you say?
1,150 would be, that would be, you could do that, but you'd have to have a bigger core cam and really get after it.
We'll zip down through here. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate it. One of the best shows. Thank you. Tim and Darin, thank you. And let's see. No, I read the email, and yeah, I gotta look at it. There's a lot of information on that, and because I got to come up with the membership. We're gonna have membership, and I'm gonna help Darin with his channel, and we're gonna put a link on here so that you can go to his channel. But you got
like 3 or 4 videos on my channel. I've been so busy at work.
Well, that's the thing.
So much fun at work that I really haven't wanted to get after it. But I've got 2 or 3 videos lined up. I just have to do them.
My wife's a keeper. She is. Yep. She's
got
a
when you get one like my wife. Right?
Definitely.
We've been married 24 years, and she actually put up with the drag racing stuff. So
nice. We're going on, I don't know now. Let me think. I shouldn't say that. 3 years we're coming up on. So that's awesome. We got 2 kids who've been together for over 10, so it's awesome stuff. Let's end it here. We're going to end it. What we'll do is end the broadcast. You and I can talk for a minute to clarify things, and then that'll be it. We'll figure out what we're going to do on the next time around. But I thank you, Darin, for being here, taking the time from your family, from your time, your free time, and I appreciate that a lot. And so do the people,
DragBoss Garage, we're always seeing and learning something new. Stay tuned.